Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are benchmarking Spider-Man Miles Morales. ये अभी 2021 में नहीं 22 के हाँ 21-22 में लॉन्च हुआ है. इट्स अ वेरी गुड गेम. मैं इसको PS4 पे खेल चुका था एक्चुअली पहले. PS4 पे ये और स्पाइडरमैन जो PS4 वाला ओरिजिनल था वो खेल लिया था. तो बेसिकली अभी मैंने जो ग्राफिक ड्राइवर है वो लेटेस्ट पे अपडेट किया हुआ है और मेरा सिस्टम है Asus Tuf A15 RTX 3050 4 GB वाला Ryzen 7 4800H 8 core 16 threads. तो इस गेम के लिए आई विल डेफिनेटली रिकमेंड यू 16 GB VRAM. सॉरी नॉट VRAM RAM सॉरी. तो इसमें इस गेम का इशू क्या है. दिस गेम इज अ VRAM हंग्री गेम. मतलब क्या है कि अगर आपके पास 6 GB से कम है तो कंसिस्टेंस परफॉर्मेंस नहीं मिलता है. इसमें थोड़ा परफॉर्मेंस इशू रहता है इस गेम में. अगर आपके पास 4 GB VRAM से ज़्यादा है तो इसमें एकदम स्मूथ चलेगा. लाइक 6 GB पे स्मूथ चलेगा, 8 GB में स्मूथ चलेगा. बट इफ़ यू हैव समथिंग लेस देन 4 GB और समथिंग लेस देन 6 GB तो ये क्या करता है, थोड़ी देर में ये रैम में से मेमोरी यूज करने लगता है एज वी रैम. ठीक है. तो एज यू कैन से रुको मैं आपको सेटिंग्स दिखा देता हूँ. करेंटली वी आर ऑन 1080p. ठीक है. वी सिंक ऑफ ऑन है, एनवीडिया रिफ्लेक्स वाला ऑफ है. बाकी अभी फिलहाल कोई अपस्केलिंग मेथड यूज नहीं हो रहा है. एंड वी आर ऑन वेरी लो सेटिंग्स प्रीसेट. टेक्सचर क्वालिटी लो है, ट्रिलिनियर सब लो पे है इस समय. और क्या डेप्थ ऑफ फील्ड मुझे पसंद नहीं आता तो मैं ऑफ रखता हूँ. ब्लूम मतलब जैसे मैं अभी दिखा भी सकता हूँ ब्लूम का. ये जैसे आपने लाइट पे इफेक्ट देखा होगा कि लाइट के आसपास एक एक्सपोजर सा था, वो चीज़ हट गई है. ये चीज़ है ब्लू. तो ये अगर आपको पसंद है तो ठीक है, नहीं अच्छा लगता है तो आप बंद कर सकते हो. ऐसा कोई इसमें मतलब परफॉर्मेंस इशू नहीं आएगा. लेंस फ्लेयर है लेंस के ऊपर का, लेकिन वो मैं यहाँ नहीं दिखा पाऊंगा आपको. ये भी पर्सनल प्रेफरेंस पे. कैमरा इफेक्ट्स है बेसिकली ये सारे. क्रोमेटिक एबरेशन मुझे नहीं पसंद, विग्नेट नहीं पसंद. मोशन ब्लर इसमें अच्छा लगता है इस गेम में क्योंकि काफ़ी सारा है ना, तो मुझे अच्छा लगता है इस पे. फील्ड ऑफ व्यू मेरा 0 पे है, मैंने ना बढ़ाया ना कम किया है. फिल्म ग्रेन बहुत गंदा लगता है, मैं नहीं यूज़ करता. शार्पनेस प्रेफरेंस पे है. जैसे अभी 10 शार्प है, मैं थोड़ा कम कर दिया तो थोड़ा सा सॉफ्ट हो जाएगा, थोड़ा मतलब स्मूथ हो जाएगा. तो इस तरीके से इससे भी परफॉर्मेंस का कोई वो नहीं है. तो जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं कि एज यू कैन सी ऑन इवन वेरी लो सेटिंग्स वी आर गेटिंग अराउंड 45 to 50 FPS व्हेन वी आर ऑन द स्ट्रीट्स. ठीक है. क्योंकि यहाँ पे ज़्यादा चीज़ें रेंडर करने को है ना, तो इसी वजह से यहाँ पे कम FPS मिल रहा है. बट वी व्हेन वी स्टार्ट स्विंगिंग अराउंड, ठीक है, तो हमारे FPS काफ़ी बूस्ट हो रहे हैं लाइक 70 to 80. दैट इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ द VRAM limitations in my system. As you can see it's currently using 3.8 gigs of my, मतलब मेरा complete VRAM यूज़ हो रहा है मेरा. And it's using a bit from my RAM as well. As you can see my RAM usage is around 12 gig. So I will suggest you to play this game on something like a something with 6 GB of VRAM. But if you don't have a system with 6 GB of VRAM and have 4 GB, you can definitely still play this game. Although the performance won't be consistent in every area. Like when we are on the ground, the performance gets lower in some places. Like currently it's 60. When there are things to load, more things to load, it will go down. Like see here, we are going as low as lower 50s, 58, 59. Now again, this kind of drop can happen while swinging as well when you are in dense areas like the park or something like that. When you when there are many buildings or something, there will be some FPS drops in this game. And currently I am not using any DLSS or any other upscaling method. There are four, I think, four upscaling methods in this game. Although the performance is a bit better than what I was getting in Spider-Man Remastered on my system. This game is very well optimized, but there are some bugs which I will show you later. Here we are getting around 50 FPS. Although you will get more FPS, I am getting a bit lower because of my recording. Without recording, you will get 10 to 15 FPS in this game. 10 to 15 FPS more. As I am recording, so the FPS is a bit lower than usual. Okay, so now I will turn on DLSS to show you how it will perform on very low settings with DLSS on. Although it has AMD FSR 1 and 2.1 as well. FSR 1 performs a bit better than 2.1, I guess. No, actually it's the other way around. And the 2.1 looks even better. Although older hardware में FSR 1 ही चलेगा, पुराना अगर आपका hardware है. And if you have something like 3060 वगैरह, then it will be perfectly buttery smooth experience. No need to turn out DLSS or anything. ठीक है, IGTI insomnia against temporal injection NVIDIA DLSS. अच्छा अच्छा, this is the in game, like this is the insomnia. Let's try it on quality. Like, how good is this? E. Yes, apply it. Okay, so as you can see with IGTI, the in-game in-house upscaling method of Insomniac, we are getting around 70, like 12 to 15 FPS boost. Yeah, 12 to 15 FPS boost. That is on ultra quality. If we turn it down to quality, we might as well get even more FPS, like 5 to 10 more FPS, depending on the scene. Okay, so now let's try out DLSS. I will not use every upscaling method in other qualities. I will use it in the last one. All the upscaling methods in the last one. Let's use DLSS. Yes. So as you can see on quality, we are getting a bit less than IGTI, I think. Like 2 to 3 FPS less than that. Although it looks a bit better than that.
Helicopter flying around. Heads up.
The DLSS looks better than that. Although on very low settings, the game looks good enough, because on PS4 it was on low settings, like not even 1080p, and on 30 FPS, and I enjoyed it. So this is a far better experience than the PS4 one. So if you have something like a 1050 Ti or something like an RX 560 or some older system, you can definitely play this game on very low, even low settings. But I would not suggest playing it on anything lower than 4 GB of RAM. And this game requires a decent enough processor as well. Something with a 6 core is good. 4 will in 4 cores you will see major stuttering, major FPS drops and spikes, all those things. So now we will try out low settings. Although the issue with this game in VRAM is whenever I turn the setting preset, it starts consuming more VRAM. So I will restart it after I turn the settings. Low settings. Okay. As we are on low display, I will turn off DLSS. Okay, I don't think we need to restart. Yeah, we don't need to restart this time. Also on low settings, the game looks a bit better. Yeah, it looks a bit better. Right now it looks exactly like the PS4 version I played. Yeah, it looks exactly like the PS4 version. And as this is a single player title, 50 to 60 FPS is good enough in this game. And as you can see on ground, we are getting around 40 to 50 most of the time, 55, and some places even 60. While swinging, we will get a lot more FPS than while on the ground. And even without recording, we will get more FPS. That's for sure. As you can see. see there are some frame time spikes because of the VRAM issue. So this is without DLSS and any other upscaling method. If you turn on DLSS or IGTI or FSR, you will get around 15 to 20 FPS more. 15, yeah, 15, at least 15 you will get more. And while whenever there will be more things to render, the FPS will drop. Okay, let's see now. Let's try medium settings. I hope it doesn't bug out. Otherwise, I will have to restart the game. Okay, it's fine. Let's see. Okay, let's wait a minute. Let me check. I think the game is bugging out because the VRAM consumption is lower and my RAM consumption has went up a bit higher. No, at least 2 gigs up. Yeah. Uh, let's try it out. Shall it's still negligible. Yeah, it's still negligible. I don't have to restart it yet, but I will need to restart it when I turn the high settings on. So as you can see, we are getting around 40 FPS, 35 to 40 FPS while on the ground. You will get around 50 FPS, 55 FPS while on the ground without recording, and around 70 FPS while swing. Although the game without any DLSS looks a lot jagged, like I would suggest you to turn some kind of anti-aliasing like the TAA or FXA, at least the FXA, if not the TAA. So let's turn on TAA because the game looks very jagged. Okay, display. We will turn on DLSS as well. DLSS quality, dynamic resolution scaling. Okay, when you are using DLSS, there is no need to. It will just gray out. Continue. So as you can see, yeah, the game is bugging out a bit because it's using more of my RAM as VRAM. Although we are getting a boost of around, as usual, 10 to 15 FPS, and the game looks a lot better than the actual native resolution. So I will suggest you to use some kind of upscaling in this game. Okay, so now, so basically we are getting around 60 FPS while swinging and 40 FPS while on the ground. So if you are not recording while playing, you will get around 55 to 60 FPS while on ground and around 76 FPS while swinging with medium preset. Okay, so now we will try out high, but on high will need to restart the game, I think. Let's check it out. High, yeah, we need to restart the game. Okay, so let's just restart the game. Okay, so now we are back in the game, and as you can see, we are on high settings, and I have turned off the DLSS as well. On ground, while recording, we are getting max to max 30 FPS, while the average will be around 25 to 26. While swinging, we get like what, 40 FPS? Yeah, 45 FPS. So if you're not recording and playing it on high preset with a system like mine, you will get 20 to 20, yeah, 20 FPS boost without recording on both ground on yeah, on grounds as well as while swinging. So now let's try some kind of anti-aliasing. On high, I will use all of them. First, I will use IGTI on quality, not on ultra quality. Apply. Yep. So as you can see, we have gained around 20 to 30 FPS with IGTI on quality, while on ground before we were getting around 25 to 30 maximum. Now we are getting around 36 to 40.
Another Christmas gone, a year without a boyfriend.
Okay. Yeah, we are getting around 40 with IGTI on quality. And while swinging, we are getting 60, 66, even 70s. So if you are not recording, you will get around 80s while swinging and around 60, 65s while on the ground. Although there will be some drops, occasional drops because of the VRAM.
Hey, did you know there's a weapons deal going down here?
So if you have something like a 4 GB VRAM, I will suggest you to use medium textures, not the high one. Though the high looks better, but to get some performance, I will suggest you to use the medium. Okay, so now I will use DLSS. I won't be showing you MD FSR because DLSS and FSR performs more or less equally. ZES, I don't know how it will work, but I will still test it. Okay, DLSS. DLSS is on quality, and we are seeing more or less the same performance we were getting with the IGTI on quality. Although the IGTI was providing around 5 to 6 FPS more, but the image looks cleaner and sharper with DLSS. So if you don't have DLSS, I will suggest you using AMD FSR 2.1. Or if you want a bit more performance, then you can go for IGTI. Okay, now I will use the FSR. I will not use the XZSS because it will just lengthen the video more. Lengthen the video longer, yeah. This is more compatible with Intel graphics. The latest launch Intel Arc GPUs. Those are some really good graphic cards for the budget, for the price they're launched on. So as you can see on FSR 2.1 quality, we are getting the same FPS as DLSS. Although the to me, the DLSS image looked a bit sharper and cleaner. So now I will show you the very high settings. Okay, let's go to display and graphics, again to DLSS. With very high graphics, I will not show you without the DLSS because it will just stutter like hell. Okay, so this is the very high settings, although you can turn some settings even higher, I think. Yeah, like this, very high. Although I will just use the very high right now, the preset. Although you can turn other things higher as well. Like you can turn on shadow quality, you can turn on texture filtering from 8x to 16x. Although I would not recommend it until and unless you have a very beefy system, like something like a 3060 or 3070, even 2080. There are apply changes. Yes. Continue. So as you can see, while on the roofs with very high settings, I'm getting around 15 gigs of RAM usage because of the very high texture and around 40 FPS on rooftops. So without recording, you will get around 55 to 60 FPS maximum. 60 is max. It will hover somewhere around 55 most of the time. And while on ground, we are getting lower 30s. So basically, you will get around 35 to 39 FPS. Here, you won't see a very high boost in
Friendly
FPS without
neighborhoods picked up
recording
an
because
unfriendly weapon
I
skill happening
am
nearby.
because we are getting VRAM limited here. So if you have something like a 3060, it will be buttery smooth. It will be buttery smooth experience. So this performance is with DLSS on quality. So if you are not running DLSS, this will be way worse. See, there are major. This is the area. These kind of areas where there are a lot of colleges and things to render. There will be FPS drive spikes and drops like this. So when there will be less to load or render, there will be more FPS. You will see a FPS boost like here. Okay, so now I will show you my custom settings. Just a minute, let me go. Sorry. I hope they launch Marvel Spider-Man 2 as well on PC someday. Okay. So now I will show you my custom settings. Okay. So I will suggest you to use some kind of upscaling for sure. Okay, so texture quality, if you have 4 GB of VRAM, I will suggest you to use medium. If you have something high, something more than 4 GB, then I will suggest you to use high. Very high is more or less similar to high. So currently I will use medium settings, medium texture quality. Anisotropic filtering texture, there is not a very big difference between 8 and 16. Although the difference between 4 and X, visually there isn't much, but there is an FPS difference, like 2 to 3 FPS. So if you can handle that a 2 to 3 FPS loss, I would suggest you to use 8 times. 8 times is good. 4 times looks a bit okay-ish, I would say. Shadow quality, I will suggest you to use high. Although if you are getting lower performance, I will then you can lower it down to medium. Don't use low. Low it looks very bad. Ambient occlusion, I will always suggest you to use SSAO because HPAO is very buggy in this game because it is not well implemented in this. बहुत गंदा लगता है वो. Screen space reflections, if you turn it off, you will obviously get a FPS boost. But with screen space reflections, there is very realistic reflections on the roads, glasses, etc., which looks very good. So I will suggest you to keep it on. Don't use ray tracing at all. If you have something like a 3050 or some 3050 2060, don't use it at all. If you even if you have a 3060 or some other card which is capable of using ray tracing, I will suggest you to keep the ray trace shadows off because it is buggy as fuck in this game. So I will not suggest you to use it at all. It looks horrible. Okay, so now comes the settings which affects the GPU as well as CPU very highly. Weather particle quality is like these things, like it's not like in Spider-Man Remastered वो क्या था volumetric clouds करता था तो it was very intensive. But in this game ये affect करता है particles को, snow particles फलाना ढिमकाना, ठीक है. So I will suggest you to keep it on medium. As you can see, there isn't very difference. Although even if you keep it on very sorry low, as you can see, there isn't very much difference between very high and low. Even low looks good, but I will suggest you to keep it on medium. Hair quality, I will suggest you to keep it on medium. Never keep it on very high. Sorry, high, because the high absolutely looks gorgeous, but it consumes a lot of FPS. So I will suggest you to keep it on medium. Low looks bad. Low and very low looks bad. I will suggest you to keep it on medium. Crowd density. It affects मतलब ये जो रास्ते पे कितने लोग हैं, कितना सारा क्राउड है, तो ये सीपीयू जीपीयू पे काफी इफेक्ट डालता है. यहाँ मैं सजेस्ट करूंगा, आप वेरी लो पे भी अगर खेलते हो, अगर क्राउड डेंसिटी, तो काफी क्राउड मिलेगा, ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं मिलेगा. सो इफ यू आर गेटिंग वेरी लो परफॉर्मेंस, आई विल सजेस्ट यू टू कीप इट ऑन वेरी लो. अदरवाइज यू कैन कीप इट ऑन लो. लो लुक्स गुड. ठीक है, मतलब जो रास्ते में लोग चल रहे हैं, कितने सारे लोग चल रहे हैं, ये सारी चीज़ों पे इफेक्ट करता है. तो मैं यहाँ पे लो सजेस्ट करूँगा. वेरी हाई तो अगर आपके पास समथिंग लाइक एन राइजन 7 5800 राइजन 5800 थ्री एक्स डी एस ऐसा कुछ है ग्राफिक का प्रोसेसर, तब मैं सजेस्ट करूँगा, वरना नहीं. ट्रैफिक डेंसिटी तीनों सेटिंग्स में कोई डिफरेंस नहीं आता है, कोई भी डिफरेंस नहीं आता है, तो मैं इसको हमेशा सजेस्ट करूँगा लो पे रखने को, या वेरी लो पे रखने को. कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है. लो पे रखिए, वेरी लो पे रखिए, हाई पे रखिए. सॉरी, एक्चुअली में क्या हुआ ना, जब मैं वो सेटिंग्स दिखा रहा था तो मेरा स्टोरेज फुल हो गया. सो बेसिकली रिकॉर्डिंग वहाँ पे कट गई. तो मैं आपको दोबारा से एक बार वो सेटिंग दिखा देता हूँ जो लास्ट में बता रहा था आपको. कहाँ गया, मैंने तो इस चक्कर में एक बार रीस्टार्ट हो गया गेम मेरा. तो ट्रैफिक डेंसिटी तो मैंने आपको बताया कि इसमें कोई डिफरेंस नहीं आता है. सो यू के आई वुड सजेस्ट यू टू कीप इट ऑन लो. वेरी लो नहीं कहूँगा, लो कहूँगा. हाई तो बिल्कुल नहीं कहूँगा, सजेस्ट करूँगा. तो इसमें 2-3 FPS 4 FPS का बूस्ट मिल जाएगा, ऑल तो डिफरेंस विजुअली कोई नहीं आएगा. नाउ कम्स लेवल ऑफ डिटेल. क्या होता है व्हेन यू आर स्विंगिंग और ऑन अ हायर प्लेस, मतलब ऊंची जगह पे अगर हैं आप, तो दूर के ऑब्जेक्ट्स जो हैं वो कितने अच्छे से दिखेंगे आपको, कितने डिटेल दिखेंगे, वो डिपेंड करता है इस पे. इसको मैं हाई ही रखने को कहूँगा, बिकॉज क्योंकि स्विंगिंग वगैरह करते टाइम वो दूर का दिखता है काफ़ी, तो विजुअली बुरा लगेगा. वेदर पार्टिकल क्वालिटी मैं लो सजेस्ट करूँगा, या लो लुक्स डिसेंट इनफ. मैं इसको लो सजेस्ट करूँगा, वेरी लो नहीं, लो. सो दीज आर माई कस्टम सेटिंग्स. सो बाकी आप मैं दिखा देता हूँ. मैं सिर्फ DLSS यूज़ कर रहा हूँ बिकॉज आई प्रिफर DLSS over FSR or IGTI. So if you don't have any RTX card or have something like an older GTX or an RX AMD card, you can go for FSR or IGTI or XeSS, whichever you prefer. They all will provide good performance. ये मेरा डॉग भौंक रहा है पीछे से. So as you can see with this settings we are getting around 60 FPS while swinging with recording, that is. So अगर आप रिकॉर्ड नहीं करेंगे तो 70 to 80 FPS मिलेगा, जो कि मुझे नॉर्मली मिलता है. यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, मेरा परफॉर्मेंस एक तो रिकॉर्डिंग में भी जा रहा है क्योंकि वहाँ VRAM भी यूज़ होती है हार्डवेयर रिकॉर्डिंग की वजह से. VRAM वो भी यूज़ करता है एंड दिस इज़ यूजिंग VRAM एज वेल. रैम उधर भी यूज़ हो रही है मेरी. So as you can see, with recording on these settings, the game looks good. ठीक है, खाली नहीं लग रहा है. It looks absolutely gorgeous.
Someone
And don't
reported
use
there's people being
HPA.
attacked near you.
ठीक है, this looks good. While on road, we are getting 40 to 50 FPS. And the gameplay is smooth. So if you are not recording, अगर आप record नहीं कर रहे हैं तो आपको मिल जाएगा around 60 FPS while on the ground and around 70 to 80 FPS while swinging. So these are better than medium settings and looks just like high settings, not very high settings, but just like high settings. And if you don't like motion blur, you can just turn it off. Let me show you how it looks without the motion blur. So without motion blur, this looks something like this. So I would suggest you to use some motion blur as it looks good with this game. but I will still suggest you to play it on something with 6 GB of VRAMs. There will be some consistency issue in 4 GB of VRAM cards.
Hey, did you know there's a weapons deal going down near you?
Okay, so thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. Please share, subscribe, comment and like the video. थोड़ी मेरी engagement बढ़ेगी ना, तो engagement बढ़ेगी तो I will get more views. ठीक है, views मेरे अच्छे आ रहे हैं फिर भी I am not getting any subscribers though. वो 13 पे अटका हुआ है. प्लीज थोड़ा सब्सक्राइब कर दो यार. बहुत मतलब थोड़ा अच्छा लगेगा, सुकून मिलेगा कि हाँ मेहनत कर रहे हैं, थोड़ा मिल रहा है सब्सक्राइबर वगैरह. प्लीज डू शेयर, सब्सक्राइब एंड आई होप आप मुझे दूसरा गेम भी रिकमेंड करेंगे जल्दी. आई विल बेंचमार्क देम एज वेल. सो बाय, थैंक यू.